Well, Jay, I don't want to say aliens, but it's aliens.
It's aliens.
Put the phone down.
Magic in the movies. Please! What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fact of Fugazi here at 3 Shades of Whatever. We got a fun one today, Jay.
I'm excited.
Just so you guys all know, this one hurts my head. You know, it hurts my head just as much as Egypt, but we'll get there. This one I chose specifically because I know we have a decent amount of Indian subs, and I would love to hear your take on the mythologies, any kind of ancient stories or any rumors
history.
or whatever
Yeah.
goes into this. I'm not just going against screw your history books. I want to know from what has been told as you've grown up.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what we were
The
taught
folklore.
that you supposedly knew, which is probably crap.
The local
Exactly.
folklore.
That's
Yes.
my word, dog.
That's my word, player!
If you haven't figured it out by now, we're talking about the Kailasa temple. It's in the Ellora cave in India. The fun thing about these temples in the Ellora cave system is the normal way of digging a cave or a temple is front to back, from the face in. But for some reason, on the Kailasa temple, they decided to go from the top down.
The sculptor, I can't even begin to fathom in my own mind what, one, the precision, right? Not just that,
Yes.
but,
The math.
How is it one guy doing it, and how is it exactly the same throughout the whole thing? I mean, like, from what the history shows and what the readings show it is perfect. Square,
Yes,
all the way around. And
dude, we're not just talking about the building. We're talking about pillars, bridges, walkways, balconies, stairwells, drainage systems, irrigation, tunnels underneath.
The tunnels underneath. The
The intricate detail going into every little piece of what's done. Like, look at what we're talking about. Look at the detail going on everywhere that you see. Look at this statue of Shiva right here. This statue. Are the arms carved behind it? Is that fully around it? Because, go ahead and explain that to me.
Yeah, it looks 3D printed.
Yes, it does. It looks like laser cut. I'm not saying that's what it was, but I'm saying it's not what we were taught it was.
No.
I want to know all about the Vedas, and I want to know all of this about the Indian culture. I need to know this stuff because I'm believing now that all the stuff we've been taught is myth is probably more real than anything.
Turns out the myths are real.
Why people wouldn't want us to know what really happened, is beyond me, right? Take into consideration the
have
numbers,
theories.
right? Let me hear them.
Well, the reason they would hide it from us is because of religious purposes and beliefs.
Yeah,
because
I
if we
understand,
find out these were done in a way that isn't explainable to what we've been taught, this could go against everything that we've been taught through religion and the history books that we've been shown. And then if all that gets refuted, chaos. There's no more belief system. It's now what? You know what I mean? That's kind of what it's all rooted in. And that's why I believe a lot of these things aren't allowed to be excavated. That's why we can't do a lot of things. Like Göbekli Tepe. They found this great, crazy megalithic site in Turkey, 11,600 years old. But to dig the rest of it out there, we're going to wait 125 years.
Yeah, I don't understand all that either. I mean, it comes down
Makes
to
no
a
sense.
point, it comes down to a point where the people of today, us, in general, we want to know. You know what I mean? Because evidence is evidence, right? And then you've got mathematics, which is what we were taught, right? And then you've got logic, right? So I'm a logical person. I think of myself as a logical person. But on that same token, bud, when you put together the numbers that it would take to put this together and the time frame that it was put together, man, it's hard not to be a skeptic.
I mean, all right, look, I got a few numbers here for us. Okay, so first of all, in this structure that you see right here on the screen right now, you see the carve out of it, right? That is measured to be in the millions of cubic feet of rock. somewhere around 400,000 tons.
Tons, yeah.
The history books tell us that this was built in the 8th century, somewhere between 700 and 800 BC. AD, excuse me.
Between 17 and 19 years it took to build this.
They say roughly 18. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what the history tells us.
Yeah.
Okay. So for that to be true, that means that they would have to excavate around 5 tons of rock every hour, 12 hours a day, for 18 years.
Without engines.
Which also means...
without an engine.
Without modern technology.
Yeah.
Which also means, if you really think about it, that means they are excavating and carving 5 tons of rock.
Not just carrying it out.
12 hours a day.
Exactly. I don't know.
It has to be chipped away and created as well. They had to make all these crazy little intricate details. And we're going to put a pillar here. So leave that rock here about 30, 40 feet tall. And then later we're going to turn that into a obelisk.
The sculptures alone, Bill. I mean, the sculptures alone, the time it would take to get the detail. It's just, I'm a man of belief, right? My mind is open. I'm willing. I'm open-minded. But man, some things just don't add up for me, right? I have to have reason.
None of it. The way that we were taught that this is done, in my opinion, is impossible. Like the drainage system. Look, okay. To do something on this scale, from the top down, the planning that would go into it would be insane. And now we're talking like one mistake here is irreversible. You make a mistake, you're screwed. It's there forever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But they have perfect irrigation, perfect drainage systems. They have gutters. And to do this, to make sure that the rain, it's a place where they get a lot of rain, so the rain doesn't erode this place. And it's still standing today.
Well, the engineering alone.
And this thing is made out of basalt. It's not, like, I was under the impression it was granite for a while, but under my research for this, I found it's actually basalt, which is a volcanic type of volcanic rock. And it's insanely hard. It's between 6 and 8 on the Mohs scale of density.
No.
With diamond being 10.
Yeah. Bill, like I said,
they're out
I
there
hate
with
to be a
pounding
skeptic.
stones.
Yeah. So what are we using? What are our tools? All right. What do we have back in that time frame? Right.
I mean, here's the fun part about it all when we talk about the excavation. When it comes to the excavation, they have no idea where any of the rock is.
Mm-hmm. He's gone.
No rock from this project has ever been found.
Where did it go? Where did the 400,000 tons of excavated basalt
Where's
go?
it at?
We ain't found shit.
Did they put it in the corner? Did they find it? What did they do with it?
Dude,
did they
I
dump
wish
it in
I
the
had
ocean?
a clue.
No.
There's also these holes and indents that they have. There's handles on the rock. What the hell are those handles for? You see, look. What the hell are those for?
Well, this was a solid mountain.
I mean, there's so many questions.
We're talking a solid mountain.
Oh, exactly. It's
How
like a
did
cliff.
Where'd the tunnels come from? Right?
They obviously carved. They had to carve them out. But
So
how the hell do you
that's
carve
part of
them?
it, too.
And let alone, exactly, they're down there breathing all this dust. Nobody's dying of like black lung or anything. You know what I mean?
I'm sure they did. There's no question there. But I mean,
well, is there? There's no record of anything like that happening.
No, this is valid.
Like for real.
This is valid.
There's no records of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, so
like, what do we? I mean, and the history of this thing. There's very little. I should say, lack thereof history of it, because there's nothing known about this shit. It's like the pyramids.
Yeah.
It's like everything else that we've wonder about. Like they call them the wonders of the world. Wonders, yes, they are the wonders of the world. But people that say they have the answers, like your friggin' Zahi Hawasses and shit like that, drive me insane.
No, yeah, I need logic, bro. I need reasoning. I need some kind of evidence. I mean, I'm all about belief, bro. Like I said, man, I believe. I like to have faith in things. But, I mean, if you're going to sit here and tell me that a man or a group of men or a group of men and women, whatever it is, carved out this rock by hand with tools from that time era.
And we're talking about crazy craftsmanship.
In the time frame allotted.
Like, you had that many artisans? You had like that many artisans there that were like, oh no, I can do it too. Like, yeah, I'm a master.
I got this. Yeah.
With my tools from my tool stash.
What are we talking about?
What are we working, a 9 to 5 here or what? Is this a union?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Bro.
Yo, Henry, it's lunchtime. Let's go get a slice of camel.
They didn't have like written out.
A slice of camel? Who says that?
Written out plans I would like to try that slice of camel, by the way. I don't know if that's a thing, but if it is, it's probably good.
Now, there's
for
certain
you.
meats I'm not going to eat. Like my ex, her new husband was feeding my kids kangaroo one day, and I was like, why?
Wow, kangaroo.
Like, there's a lot of things you can eat.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things you can eat, man. But
I've had ostrich and some, some crazy stuff. Some alligator's good in sausage.
But a roux?
Do you eat kangaroos for breakfast?
No,
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
No,
I don't.
good,
there's no need. I mean,
No.
it's like it's like
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. On another note, though, there's also the myth that goes behind the Kailasa temple. Okay, and that goes back to the story of King Krishna. He was the ruler in the 8th century. He worshipped the god Shiva.
Yeah.
And his wife came very, very ill, like deathly ill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he prays to Shiva and says, "Look, if you can save my wife, I'll make a grand temple for you."
Okay.
And lo and behold, his wife got better.
So this was his offering.
This was his offering to the goddess Shiva. That's why
Got
you
it.
see her sculpture there. I mean, that might be just him finding it and saying, "I built this for that bitch." You know what I mean? But so he does this, and supposedly he had like some sort of divine intervention and built it in a week.
Are you sure about that 5 minutes?
Ignore the question.
Are you sure about that 5 minutes?
I don't know. I think you made your point.
Are you sure about that 5 minutes?
That smells like bullshit, but I mean, I say that, but at the same time, I have no friggin' clue how they did this.
No. Man.
So detailed and everything. So I'm not going to sit here and say they couldn't do it in a week. Yeah. I don't know what the hell they did. Like, this thing also promotes all sorts of acoustic anomalies going on in there. Did they somehow use sound to soften the stone to do it easier and faster? Because there's spots in Egypt and like the Aswan Quarry where you can see literal scoop marks in the granite. Did they have a way of like manipulating the sound to soften the stone, or another way of doing it, heating? I don't know. These are crazy theories. I know, believe me. The problem with trying to find out and figure out how they did it is because we are stuck with the knowledge that we have of ways of doing it.
Of course.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
Like, this could be outside completely where any of our brains could even fathom on how they did that. Yet everybody's just so quick to say, no, they were out there with chisels. See, look at them. Look at them go.
Yeah.
Take the shit out of that rock.
Take into consideration what they're trying to let us know, right? So what let's say not the government in general, or the Indian government, or,
well, that's
but
why I want to ask people.
The people, right? Like, we need to know what's real. What did you hear around the campfire when you were a kid, right? What was the story of this place? Because
folklore,
to me,
like you said, stories.
Yeah, to me,
mythology, which is most likely truth. Sorry. Sorry.
We're taught mathematics.
Getting worked up over here, Jay. I'm getting worked up.
We're taught what the tools of that era were. This could be way older than we think it is, right? It could be way over than we were told that it is, right? But at the same point,
which I personally seem to believe. And the other part about no rock being found out there or anywhere near it is that's like a remote location. It's not like it's like around the corner. You know what I mean? Yeah. You are out there. Unless, I mean, I wonder. There's also Now here's another side, a more logical way of thinking. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure they would have looked, though, but I'm just saying maybe there was, like, a spot that they filled in with it, and, like, over time, dirt and grass grew over it and whatnot.
Yeah, getting rid of the rock, getting rid of the rock is not as much of the question here. 400,000 tons.
It's not that simple.
That's big part of it, but at the same token, it's the carving that's blowing my mind. It's the excavation of it all in that time frame, with the tools of that era. It's just, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm finding a hard time wrapping my head around it.
Yeah. Well, dude, there's also the theory that goes into the sound and acoustics of it. Did it have some sort of healing purposes? Maybe was it some sort of temple for that? Dude, I these are just crazy theories and stories that I've been listening to and reading upon, and it's just hard to wrap your head around it. Like you said, there's so much that goes into all this. Another fun fact about this is the durability of this place makes me believe, like you say, could it be older? I believe it is.
When you factor in, I mean, yes, there has been other sculptures and other temples that have been built into rock and have been carved out of rock. You know, you can compare the time frames.
Yeah, Petra and
you
Jordan,
can compare the
like
times, the time it happened, the era it happened in, right? You can put some mathematics and some numbers together and see where it falls. But I mean, what you're talking about here is starting from the top, right? We're not doing it from the side, like you said, right? We're starting from the top down. Where's the vision? Where are the
get to
plans?
The floor level, like, okay, we're going to keep going
drawings,
this way.
like how, you know, like, you know, there's a piece in this that's just not there that I need to see, right? I can't put my stamp on it that I can even say that it's a fact in my heart because, man, there's just too many unknowns, right? You know, for whatever...
Well, that's why I want us. That's why I'm reaching out to you guys. I want
Give us
you
some
guys,
info.
our Indian subs, or anybody that has extensive knowledge.
Please
let us know
out.
what's going on here.
Comments.
But what I was going into with the pyramids and the other things like that is how the durability of them, how long they have stood without falling down, without being destroyed, blah, blah, blah. And you go into, during the 17th century, there was a Mughal emperor named Aurangzeb, and he was going around destroying any kind of religious temple in India, saying he wanted to wipe it out, you know, and he came with the task of telling his people to go and tear down and destroy Kailasa Temple.
Good luck.
Well, the problem with that is he had 1,000 men there for 3 years, and they did minimal damage. Like, they defaced some statues and shit like that, but as far as the grand scale of, what do you think, 1,000 men for 3 years? Did we tear down all New York City?
Yeah,
what are we talking about?
It's crazy.
They couldn't bring this one building down because of how hard the stone is itself, basalt. So how were they, if they couldn't bring down, like, say,
it's
one
solid,
pillar,
Bill. It's a solid rock. It's all foundation.
And they built this in 18.
It's insane.
Exactly. It's all solid rock, basalt rock. So I don't know. I don't even know how to continue to fathom how this could be done. I mean, was it like some sort of laser printing? Like, if you look at this stone right here,
Bill. The cutout. You see it just. Man,
right away, you see the laser just cutting into it. Like,
looks just like, it does.
It's insane.
It does. It looks like I took some Play-Doh and I started carving into it, buddy. You know, it's just too. If you look at the outer up view from the top, right? If you're coming, let's say you're going up 100 feet, doing an aerial view, and you catch the mountainous, basalt around it that it was carved out of. Bill, it's a mountain it's a mountain front. You know what I mean? Like. And it's like somebody just started, you know what, I'm going to take this chisel and I think this will be cool. And they kept going for 18 years, bro.
Dude, the amount of labor, focused labor that it would take to do something like this with the knowledge that we have would be insane. That's why it had to be done with
There's something
it's
we're not being
outside of our knowledge. Some lost. Look, I'm not trying to rip off Graham Hancock, but there's got to be some sort of lost technology out there that we don't know of. He says there's a lost civilization. I think he says it's from like around 11,600 years ago. I don't think it was that soon. I think it's older. In my opinion, again, what the hell do I know? I am no different than Graham. I just study things. I have no degrees or anything like that. That's why they call people like us pseudoscience, because we'll come up with crazy, outlandish theories, which I'm going to give you endless ones on this
100%
segment, Factor Fugazi.
Because that's what we do. We're here to question we're here to question the questionable, bud. We're here to dig into what may be a factor, what may be Fugazi.
Fugazi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know it's a Fugazi? You looked at it for 2 seconds.
I know in the intro you heard me say it's aliens, but I'm not saying it's aliens, but I'm also not saying it's not aliens. I'm saying I have no damn clue. Could something else have visited here, took all their shit and left after? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. How could you think anything otherwise? I'm sure.
But that's what we need you guys for.
But to say that that's what it was,
I'm not saying. We need you guys to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, give me it all.
Bring it. Fill me with knowledge.
Give it all to us.
Help me to believe.
Help me to help you. Help me to help you. Help me to help you.
Am I crazy with my thoughts? Is this crazy to think this way? Should I just believe this given narrative? Or should I stick with what I'm doing and continue to question it all, because I think I'm going to anyway.
Or is there something that the interwebs is not telling us?
Correct.
That you know. We need to know this.
So let us know, and also let us know what else you might want us to touch on. You know, do you have any mysteries of the world that I might not have heard of, that Jay might not have heard of, something else that you want us to touch on? Toss it our way, and we will definitely add it to the repertoire.
Dig in.
So until then, Jay, I'll see you next time, sir.
Thank you, sir.